guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be reading chapter 2 of New City, New Life, Adventures in London. We're gonna continue off on chapter 2. This is chapter 2, New Beginnings, the first day of school. I groaned as I woke up, my eyes still heavy with sleep. I stumbled out of bed, my mind barely functioning. First up, Marcus. He was on his phone, looking like he was in the middle of something important, probably a game or some random meme page. As soon as I entered the room, he did a quick pretend to be asleep maneuver, lying flat on his back and faking the deepest sleep ever. I was not feeling for it. "Ah, get out!" he shouted dramatically, his eyes barely open. "You woke me up!" he complained, acting like I just ruined the most epic dream of his life. "Sure. Don't even try to lie," I said, smirking like a mastermind. "I saw that." I marched over to him, yanked the blanket off his bed, and tossed it up in the air like I just won the championship of sibling warfare. "Ha ha! Checkmate!" I declared, laughing as Marcus made a face, looking like he'd just been robbed of his favorite pillow. He groaned, climbed out of bed, and looked at the clock. "It's 7:30 a.m.? Are you kidding me?" he moaned, as if we hadn't woken up from the deepest slumber known to mankind. Just then, Dad walked in, looking way too perky for this time of the day. "Boys, school starts in 30 minutes. You might want to prepare," he said casually, like he hadn't just shattered our fragile morning peace. "What?" Marcus and I screamed in unison, our faces frozen in shock. "In 30 minutes?" We were too stunned to even process what he was saying. "Oh, did I stutter?" Dad said, grinning like he had just pulled off the best prank ever. I bolted downstairs, already mentally preparing myself for the what's for breakfast routine. "What's for breakfast, Mom?" I asked, trying to sound casual, as if I wasn't already dreading for this next sentence. "Oh, son, make it yourself," Mom said, like it was no big deal. "Wait, what? Seriously?" I said, my face falling faster than a pancake could at breakfast time. I have to make my own food?" Ugh. I slouched dramatically and shuffled over to the counter, already defeated. "I'm making cereal," I declared, "because, let's face it, that's the easiest option for someone who's still half asleep." I grabbed the milk, poured it into the bowl, then got the frosty cereal and sprinkled it in like it was a magic potion. What's next? Oh yeah, heat it up," I said with a grin. Feeling like a mad scientist, I tossed the ball into the microwave like I was cooking up a gourmet meal. Just then, Marcus finished up his gourmet pancakes, topped up with an endless stream of honey. The sight was almost enough to make me ditch my cereal. "Can I have some?" I asked, my mouth already watering. "No way! Shut up!" Marcus snarled, his eyes narrowing like I'd just asked him to borrow his phone. His new one especially. "Bruh," I muttered, chewing my cereal as if my soul were slowly being crushed. After finishing my gourmet breakfast, I dashed upstairs to pack my bag. I grabbed my rounded bag because I was feeling sporty today. My water bottle, my favorite school outfit. I even put on my socks because who doesn't love socks, right? "Boys, you ready?" Dad called from downstairs. "Yes," Marcus said, and I said it with him. Marcus sneakily stuffed his phone into his pocket like he was hiding a treasure. We jumped into the car, and Mom had already packed our lunches because apparently she was a wizard of meal prep. Good for her to pack my lunch and not my breakfast. Dad drove on and on like we were on some never ending road trip. It took about 15 minutes before we finally saw the school. And let me tell you, it was like walking into a coliseum. Except instead of lions, there were a bunch of kids staring at our car like it was some kind of rare sports car. I stepped out, trying to look cool, but Marcus did not even care. Because it was just like his old school in Brazil. But besides, he is the golden janitor. Me, I was all nerves, trying to look calm and collected. Then I spotted Gabriel. Yo, Gabriel, what's up, bro? I said, racing over to him like I'd just seen a celebrity. Oh, hey, Junior, you coming over to my house today? He asked casually, like like we weren't about to start the first day of school. Yep, my dad says yes, I replied, grinning. We started walking down the hallway. Then suddenly, bam! Ow! Somebody tripped me and I face planted onto the floor. I looked up and saw a giant guy staring down at me like I had just insulted his lunch. Oh, so we got a new kid, huh? He said, smirking like he was the king of the school. Before I could respond, he and his crew strolled off like they were in a music video or something. Dude, who is that? Asked I asked, brushing myself off. Ah, that's Chad Buckley. He's the school bully, Gabriel said, sounding way too chill about it. Don't mess with him. He's like a head honko of trouble here. Chad Buckley. Seriously? I said, still processing the fact that someone had tripped me for no reason. And why did he trip me? Because he's a jerk, Gabriel explained. His dad is the second richest guy, but his dad is the second richest guy in town, and but his mom's the principal. So he gets away with everything. You're gonna wanna watch out for him. Great, that's exactly what I need for my first day, I muttered, feeling even more confused than before. We kept walking, and I asked, are you in Mr. Reno's class? 'Cause I am. Yeah, follow me, Gabriel said, already moving like he was on a mission. We speed walked down the hall like we were in some spy movie, and finally reached the classroom. I took a deep breath and walked in, only to see Chad. Yep, the same Chad who had just tripped me. This is gonna be great. Ah, Gabriel, who's this? Mr. Reynolds asked, looking up from his desk. This is the new kid, Gabriel said, as if introducing me like it was just another day at school. So, what's your name, new guy? Mr. Reynolds asked. I'm Junior Silva, I said, trying to sound as cool as possible. Wait a minute, Mr. Reynolds said, raising an eyebrow. Are you son of João Silva? Yeah, I said, still unsure what was happening. Hold on. You're the son of the man who's actually richer than Mr. Buckley White, Mr. Reynolds said, looking amazed. I glanced at Chad, who was now fuming like someone had stolen his lunch. He shot me the most deadly glare ever, like he was about to start a feud that would last through eternity. Gabriel looked at me in surprise. Okay, you could sit next to Dennis, Mr. Reynolds said, pointing at an empty seat. Dennis Dennis raised his hand, like he was the mayor of the class. Over here, Junior, he called. I made my way to the table and sat next to Dennis to Gabriel and a new kid named Jack. Hi, I'm Jack, said the kid sitting next to me. Oh, hi, I said, stammering like a total newbie. Gabriel gave me a quick jab in the ribs, reminding me to focus on the teacher. Mr. Reynolds turned around. Okay, class, let's get started with some math. Oh, actually, let's not do math on the first day. What should we do instead? He asked, clearly in a good mood. The class erupted in excitement, shouting, Let's play soccer outside! Okay, then, Mr. Reynolds said, chuckling. And just like that, the class exploded into chaos, screaming, cheering, acting like we had just won the World Cup. Chairs scraped the floor as everyone scrambled to line up. Some kids were stretching like they were about to play the actual Premier League final, while others were already arguing on who was going to be captain. We marched outside like warriors entering a battle. The sun was shining, the field was green, and the air smelled like sweat, unfinished homework, and more stuff. Everyone wanted to play, and conveniently, our class had exactly 22 people. Well, 22 boys, because the girls didn't want to play, obviously. Perfectly for an 11-a-side match. Mr. Reynolds, being an absolute legend he was, just clapped his hands and said, "You kids got this," before disappearing like a magician, leaving us to fend for ourselves. That man had more trust in us than we deserved. Lucky for me, I ended up on a solid team. Dennis, Jack, Gabriel, and wait, what? Charlie? Since when was Charlie in my class? Was he some kind of undercover student? I did not have time to figure it out, because the game was about to begin. Of course, Chad, the human-sized problem, was on the opposing team, and surprise, surprise, he made himself captain. Like we all didn't see that coming. Jack was our captain, which made some sense because he actually passed the ball. Dennis, our goalkeeper, stood in front of the goal, like he was protecting the family secret. The whistle blew, or at least someone just shouted, "Go!" I got the ball first. My heart raced. This was my moment. I drove past one guy, sent another to the shadow realm. Oh, have fun there! With a nutmeg, and passed to Gabriel. The whole field gasped. Gabriel chipped the ball back to me. It was perfect. I volleyed it with all my might. The keeper barely saved it, tipping it out for a corner. I was on corner duty because, well, I was the shortest. I lined up the kick, took a deep breath, and whipped the ball in. It curved beautifully. The ball soared through the air like it had a personal vendetta against gravity, then splashed right into the net. Did I just score from a corner? Did I just bend it like Beckham? The entire field fell silent. Mouths hung open. Even Chad looked like he'd just witnessed a ghost. Then, boom, celebration time. Gabriel high fived me so hard I think I lost a fingerprint. Chad, meanwhile, was fuming. I could practically see steam coming out of his ears. "Lucky shot," he grumbled. The game continued. Chad, now playing like his reputation depended on it, shoved his way through the defenders. He wasn't exactly skilled, but he had the strength of a full grown rhino. He bulldozed past everyone, took a heavy touch, and went for the ball. Unfortunately for him, I was already right there. Activated Ultra Instinct mode. Using my super speed, I zipped past him, took control of the ball, sprinted down the field. Yeah. The crowd, okay, fine. Our classmates roared, "Go, Junior, go!" I was locked in. One on one with the goalkeeper. I took a deep breath, preparing my shot, and bam! I was on the ground. My legs screamed in pain. Chad had kicked me hard. "Ow!" I yelled, clutching my shin. I didn't cry because I'm a warrior, and let's be real, cry it hurt like crazy. Chad stood over me, laughing like a villain in a bad movie. Gabriel, Jack, and the others ran over. "You okay?" Jack asked. "Yeah," I said, getting up, like I was in an action film. "I'll be fine." I stepped up to take the free kick. This was my moment of the redemption. I lined up, took a deep breath, and smashed the ball straight into the top bins. "Let's go!" I shouted, running in celebration. Gabriel Gabriel jumped on my back, and the team cheered. Chad, oh, he was not happy. He was angry. He grabbed the ball and launched it at Dennis. Dennis, being the absolute legend he was, caught it like he was born to be the goalkeeper. Chad tried again, Dennis caught it, and again, Dennis caught it. The man was an impenetrable wall. But then, Chad actually finally scored. I was surprised. "Yes, 2-1!" he roared, running around like he had just won the Champions League. The game got tense. I rainbow, f- I rainbow flicked the guy. He clipped me. No foul. Charles shoved me. No foul. I got up determined and to finish this game strong. Jack passed the ball to me. I ran like my life depended on it. But then, boom! Chad bulldozed me. I went flying. I swear I was in the air for 2 full seconds before I hit the ground. No foul, Chad shouted before I could even complain. I was fuming. What? Oh, little crybaby is complaining, Chad sneered. I took a deep breath and stared him down. Be quiet, you fowler. Chad's eyes twitched. What did you say to me? I said, be quiet, you fowler! I repeated, my confidence at all time high. Chad grabbed my collar. Oh, you've got some nerve. Well, that's how conversation works, I smirked. And plus, my dad told me not to waste time talking to others, so I'm out. The crowd erupted into laughter. Oh, he absolutely roasted Chad! No comeback, no comeback! Chad got humbled. Chad stood there, speechless. His soul left his body. Before he could react, Mr. Reynolds reappeared out of nowhere. Boys, get on with the game! And just like that, it was back to business. The final 2 minutes were intense. I got the ball, Chad was on me, but I hit him with the most disrespectful step overs of my life. He tripped over his own feet and fell. The entire field erupted into laughter. With 20 seconds left, Gabriel crossed the ball in. Chad cleared it out, but it landed right back to Gabriel. One more chance. Gabriel crossed it again. I was there. I went for the scissors kick. The ball soared through the air. Goal! Jack tackled me in celebration. The whole team screamed in joy. The whistle blew, the bell apparently, and it was game over. 3-1. Well, 3-2, because Chad wanted it to be 3-2, obviously. Chad stormed off, muttering under his breath. The whole class, and I mean it, the whole class lifted me up like I had just saved the world. Mr. Reynolds gave a proud nod of approval. Best first date ever. My whole team erupted into celebration as the bell rang for yard time. Mr. Reynolds clapped and walked over to me with a proud smile on his face. That was absolutely phenomenal goal. Junior, have you registered for the school trials tomorrow? Um, you're definitely making the team. You have talent, speed, and the ability to think ahead like no one else, Mr. Reynolds said enthusiastically. Yes, Mr. Reynolds, my dad already registered me, I said, grinning. Excellent. Now, enjoy lunch with your friends, he said, waving me off. As I made my way to the school, I spotted Miss Principal, Miss Rhodes Buckley. I took a deep breath and approached her. Excuse me, ma'am, I said politely. The whole hallway went dead silent. It was just like I had announced that I was the new owner of the school. Miss Rose turned to me with an eyebrow raised. Yes, Junior? She asked. Would it be possible if my server comes into the school to deliver my lunch? I have a gourmet meal arriving, I said with my best polite voice. The entire hallway collectively gasped. Even Gabriel's jaw hit the floor. Miss Rhodes hesitated, but then nodded. I suppose that would be acceptable, she said, still looking baffled. I casually strolled to the cafeteria, where Gabriel waved me over to the table for five. Jack, Dennis, Charlie, and Gabriel were all seated, leaving one spot for me. Just then, the door swung open. A man with a tuxedo, holding a golden plate, walked in. Hello, you saw, Junior, he said in the most sophisticated British accent I had ever heard. You may now enjoy your special gourmet meal. Gabriel and the others stared, completely speechless. The entire cafeteria was watching, forks frozen midair. I removed the lid dramatically, and there it was, perfectly seasoned golden brown fish with a side of crispy chips, along with a small, elegant cup of ice cream for dessert. Want some? I asked the boys casually. Why would we ever say no? Dennis practically shouted. Jack suddenly pulled out a bag of chips. I got extra chips for everyone, he added proudly. I turned into a mini feast right here in the school cafeteria. We devoured every last bite. The tuxedo man returned, bowing slightly. Shall I clean up, Sir Junior? He asked. I nodded, and we moved to a different table. Dennis looked at me, shaking his head. Dude, who even is that guy? Your butler? Charlie added. Yeah, and why does he sound like he's narrating a royal wedding? I shrugged. Honestly, I have no idea. Think my dad hired him to serve me lunch every day. They all, they all stared at me like I had casually admitted I owned the school. Wait, I said suddenly. What? What? They all said. Should I ask my dad if he can arrange gourmet meals for all of you, too? I said, already pulling out my phone. Jack blinked. Wait, you have a phone? Oh, yeah, duh. I said, dialing a number. Jack threw his hands up. You're literally 13. 12, actually. I corrected. Dennis nearly fell off his chair. That's even worse. Jack, Jack shook his head. We're only allowed to get a phone when we're 15, unless we somehow have the money to buy one ourselves. I shrugged. Well, maybe I'll just get you guys phones too. Their jaws collectively hit the floor. What? They shouted in unison. Hey, Dad, I said when he picked up. Yeah, can you arrange for extra gourmet meals every day for my friends? Of course, son, Dad replied instantly. The call ended, and my friends were staring at me like I'd just performed magic. Gabriel was the first to speak. I thought you were joking. I laughed. Nah, that's the point of having friends. Having all of this if I can't. What's the point of having all of this if I can't share it with my friends? That's what friends are for, right? Charlie wiped a fake tear from his eye. We're so lucky to have you as a friend. I shook my head. No, I'm lucky. Friends aren't just people who give stuff to. Who you give stuff to. They're close ones who actually care about you. The bell rang, and the cafeteria buzzed as people got up to go to class. We grabbed our things and headed to Mr. Reynolds' classroom. Oh, hi, boys. Take a seat, Mr. Reynolds said as we walked in. There's an extra seat next to you, Junior. Charlie will sit there. Sweet. All right, Teach. I stammered, earning a few chuckles. I took my seat, glancing around at my friends. This was turning out to be the best day ever. The rest of the class walked in, and as they sat down, Mr. Reynolds clapped his hands, getting our attention. All right, class. Good news. School will be finishing early today, so pack your things. I was confused. That was all I needed to hear. I stuffed my books into my bag. He did not have to tell me twice. Ready to escape like a prisoner getting parole. We walked out, and just as I stepped onto the pavement, my butler, yes, my actual butler, approached. Sir Junior, shall I drive you home in the Porsche? He said, standing tall and proud like he was announcing the arrival of the Queen. Uh, no thanks, I'll walk. He nodded, slightly disappointed, and just melted into the background like Batman disappearing into the shadows. My friends and I strolled along, laughing about my ridiculous butler, when suddenly, oh no, Chad. Hey, Sherlock, what you up to now, huh? Chad sneered, stepping in front of us like some low budget villain. Nothing much, just solving world hunger, discovering alien civilizations, and finding whether or not your breath smells like expired yogurt, I said, pushing past him. My friends chuckled, but Chad was not laughing. He and his missions closed in. Oh, and where do you think you're going? Chad growled. To see Lord Voldemort. Where do you think? I exaggerated. He charged up. Then, bam, a punch into my stomach. Ugh! I gasped, bending over. My friend tried to help, but Jad's goons grabbed them. He swung at me again. I dodged. He swung again. I ducked. Then one of his friends. Then one of his friends grabbed me from behind. Chad landed a solid punch into my chest. Then another. Then another. I could feel my mouth split open. Blood trickled down my chin. My whole body ached. Chad laughed, wiping his knuckles like he'd just done the honest an honest day's work. Then that's when Gabriel broke free. He shoved Chad so hard he almost tripped. Chad turned to swing at him, but Gabriel dodged like a ninja and pushed him again. Chad's minions lunged at Gabriel, but I stuck out my foot and tripped them. They pounced on me instead. Fists, kicks, were flying. I was brutalized. Just then, I thought it was over. Chad landed one last punch to my face. Ha ha, loser. He laughed, walking away with his crew. I lay on the ground, gasping. Junior! Dennis knelt beside me. He had a bruise forming on his arm from from getting hit earlier. Are you okay? Gabriel asked, pulling out tissues. No, my chest and head hurt too much, I groaned, tears forming in my eyes. Gabriel helped me clean up as they walked me home. Bye, Junior. Hope you feel better, they said as I stumbled into my house. The moment my mom saw me, my eyes went wide. Junior, what happened to you? She gasped. I got jumped by some kids on the way home, I mumbled, barely able to speak. Marcus, my older brother, walked in, eyes glued to his phone. What happened, little bro? He asked, not even looking up. I got, never mind, I sighed. Cool, then I'll never mind, he said, smirking, and as he walked off, I groaned and flopped onto the couch. Junior, Dad called from the kitchen. Yeah, I called back. We're going to Mr. Pedro's house in an hour. Okay, I mumbled, dragging myself upstairs to change. Then I had an idea. I marched into Marcus's room. What do you want? He asked, still on his phone. Huh, what you doing, huh? I teased, mimicking his voice. He finally looked up. Gaming on my PC, he said, smiling. That's when I noticed it. Where did you get that LED light PC? I shouted. Oh yeah, forgot to tell you. This kid I met on Roblox, Lorenzo, gave me LED lights to stick on my old PC. We're best friends now, he said proudly. So he just gave you LED lights? I asked, skeptical. Yeah, unlike you, I have friends, Marcus said, smirking. Oh, you think you're tough with words? I'm the toughest with words, I bragged. Marcus got up. You little prick, get out of my room, he yelled. Make me, I said, grinning. He lunged at me. I sidestepped. He crashed straight into the wall. Ow! He muttered, rubbing his chin. Didn't even touch you. I laughed. Marcus walked towards me, furious. He swung a slap. I ducked, untied his shoelaces, and spun around and ran. He spun and ran at me, but stepped on his own lace and face planted onto the floor. Huh? I tied those stupid things, he muttered, flinging them off. I was in tears, laughing. Junior, get out! Marcus grumbled. Tired now, bro? Handshake, I said, reaching out. Marcus never does handshakes. I knew something was up. I walked over slowly and reached out my hand. Suddenly, he grabbed my collar and lifted me to his face. Ha! Who's tough now, huh? He laughed. Oh, your breath stinks. Stop talking! I gagged. Marcus slapped me. I was furious. I pulled my leg back, then launched a volley straight into his pirates. Ah! Ah! He screamed, collapsing onto the floor. I dusted off my hand, grabbing his toothbrush, and handed it to him. My job is done. I'm out, I declared, walking out victoriously. Marcus lay on the ground, groaning. Bet he still lost a rap battle royale in Fortnite. Another win for Junior. I went into my room to arrange my Real Madrid stuff. If you walked in, you'd think you were in an official Real Madrid headquarters. I had scarves, posters, jerseys, and even mini replica of the Santiago Bernabeu. All I needed was LED lights and some more pictures of Real Madrid legends. I decided to make a list of players I need: Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldo Nazario, ZZ, which is Zinedine Zidane, Iker Casillas, Kylian Mbappe, and the future player, of course, me, Junior. So Oh, and let's not forget Florentino Perez and Carlo Ancelotti, because every kingdom needs its rulers. Now, all I have to do is convince Dad to buy them for me. Should I write should I write him a formal letter? Maybe shed a single tear for dramatic effect? I figure it out later. Just as I was about to kick back and enjoy some TV, Dad's voice boomed from downstairs. Junior, are you ready? Wait, what? Oh no! The hour had flown by. I leaped out of the bed, threw my Louis Vuitton jacket on, matching pants, and Louis Vuitton shoes, and bolted downstairs. Yup, I'm ready, I announced, standing like a soldier ready for battle. Dad walked over to me, looked me up and down. Then, out of nowhere, he started squirting perfume all over me. I coughed and waved my hands. Dad, what's that for? Are we meeting the king? You need to smell nice, he said seriously. Dad, I already smelled nice, I protested. Not nice enough, he replied, giving me a final spray for good measure. Smelling like a walking cologne ad. We walked we walked next door to Mr. Pedro's house. I knocked confidently. From inside, I heard the unmistakable um, sound of paws scratching against the floor. I peeked through the window, and boom, a giant dog came crashing against the door. Before I could even process what was happening, Gabriel opened the door. Oh, hello, Mr. Silva. Come in, he said politely. I dashed and stepped in first. The house was big, but more importantly, it smelled incredible. Not like fancy perfume, better, like fresh cookies and something magical. Then it happened. The same dog that I had seen through the window jumped on me like I was the long lost owner who finally returned from battle. He licked my face as if I were made of peanut butter. Hey, Sammy, Gabriel said casually, as if it was normal behavior. I pushed the dog off gently and wiped my face. Ooh, who's this? I said. And why does he love me so much? Oh, that's Sammy. He's the smartest dog ever. Watch this. Sammy, water please. I folded my arms. There's no way he's gonna do. There's no way he's going to. Before I could finish my sentence, Sammy trotted off and returned. But just as he is about to hand it to Gabriel, another dog came out of nowhere and tackled Sammy. The water spilled all over the floor. Gabriel sighed. Jackie, clean up! The other dog actually started licking up the mess. I just stood there, watching what looked like a scene from a secret Dog Spy movie. Gabriel motioned me to follow him upstairs. As soon as we entered his room, a small figure darted past us. Get out of my room! Get out of my room, Daniela! But you said I could play with your little toys, pleaded the little girl. She turned to me and narrowed her eyes. Who's he? Oh, I'm Junior, your brother's friend, I said politely. She continued glaring at me as she stomped out. I turned to Gabriel. Well, she seems delightful. Tell me about it, Gabriel muttered. All right, want to play outside? Yeah, sure, I replied. We went downstairs and stepped outside, where we spotted Dennis, Charlie, and Jack playing soccer in the yard. Just as we were about to join them, the sky rumbled. Within seconds, raindrops the size of gumballs started pelting on us. Everybody, get inside! Gabriel yelled. We're gonna have fun indoors! We sprinted inside, dripping wet. Gabriel led us upstairs, where we all huddled in his gaming room. He grinned and grabbed the controller. He wants to play FIFA! He shouted. Me! Everyone yelled in unison. Gabriel handed out 5 controllers. Alright, Junior, you and me versus the rest. Dennis cracked his knuckles. Oh, you guys are done for. I'm about to cook you. Dennis was legendary at FIFA, but Gabriel and I weren't about to go down without a fight. Let's do training drills so it'll be easier to choose formations, said Jack. Okay, replied Gabriel. We did the drills. Bro, Jack, lock in, man, said Dennis. What that do? Replied Jack. He wasn't really good. Hence, it was his fifth time trying this. What do you mean what that do? You can't play like that against Gabriel and Junior, complained Dennis. Okay, damn, chillax, Jack said, laughing. We finished off the drills and chose our team. What here, Gabriel, let's be Real Madrid, I suggested. Okay, fine, said Gabriel. I smiled as usual. Let's be Liverpool, said Jack. Nope, never. I think Arsenal would be a good choice, said Charlie. Shut up, boys. We're picking Bayern Munich, declared Dennis. No one's. No, said Charlie and Jack. Okay, guys, chillax. You guys could be PSG. You guys could be PSG. I said, trying to stop the argument. No, Bayern Munich, retaliated Dennis. All of you guys, shush. Tough, tough. If you don't like them, we're being Bayern Munich, said Janice proudly. No way, Jose! Shouted Charlie and Jack at the same time. I was surprised that they did it. Gabriel stood up. Stop arguing, boys, he said, looking down at us. How, huh? How do we stop if little Dennis is acting like he's the main character? Tell him to stop, complained Jack. Yeah, you're not the king of. You don't own this place, said Charlie. Oh, yeah? Well, stop acting like you own the place, little prick, said Dennis in anger. Yeah, maybe none of you guys own the place, but I do, said Gabriel, looking at them. No, you don't either. It's your dad's house. He just gave you forever permission to stay, said Dennis. Dennis, shut up! I shouted Jack. Well, why don't you shut up, huh? Retaliated Dennis. Stop at once! Screamed Gabriel, shushing everyone. Guys, we didn't do all those drills just to see who could argue the loudest. Pretty sure that's not a sport. We didn't we did them to pick formations and actually play. So can we chill for like 5 minutes and do that instead? I said, laughing. Easy for you to say when you're not talking at all. They all said it. They all said at the same time. I frowned. Stop arguing, guys. Seriously, I said. Dennis got up. Oh yeah? Well, shut up, Dennis. Every time someone says something, you come in to retaliate, I said in anger. Yeah, Dennis, said Jack, laughing. And Jack, always being the walking meme or something. Stop, guys, I said, looking at Jack. Let's just listen to Junior, said Gabriel. Dennis, Charlie, and Jack made a huddle. Okay, we choose Barcelona, they said in unison. I was taken aback from their decision. Gabriel, hey Gabriel, let's trust them 5-0, okay? I told Gabriel, are you any good? I mean, not to offend you, said Gabriel, smiling. Oh, you're in for a surprise, I warned him, as it was Barcelona versus Real Madrid, the UEFA Champions League final. We didn't work hard to get to the finals, we just chose it because we could. The stakes were high. Well, not really, but our pride was on the line. The match kicked off, and within 5 minutes, Dennis pulled off a skill move so insane, even the FIFA commentator yelled, "Oh my!" It was war, virtual war, and we were ready to battle. I managed to steal the ball from Dennis and started dribbling like my life depended on it. Hey, up here, Junior, called Gabriel, controlling Mbappe, waving his hands like a madman. I chipped it to him, and he was to run goal, but then, bam! Jack clipped him. Ha ha! Jack laughed smugly. Hey, free kick! Gabriel shouted, throwing his hands up dramatically. I'll take it, I said, stepping up like it was about to change history. But the moment I looked back at the screen, I saw Jack, Dennis, and Charlie already on the counterattack. What? No foul? I said, my voice cracking with disbelief. Yup, the ref is blind. The little ref is blind, Gabriel wailed. Everyone burst into laughter. Jack played it to Charlie, who crossed it to Dennis. Dennis, as Lewandowski, took one touch and boom, goal. Yes, I scored. Let's go, guys. Dennis celebrated like he'd just won the Ballon d'Or. Jack, however, was not pleased. Hey, you literally. Nope, no arguments this time. Gabriel cut him off. We regrouped. Gabriel, pass to me and run up, I strategized, like some football mastermind. Gabriel nodded and passed. I played the ball true, but Dennis, being the menace he is, stood in front of blocking Gabriel's player, blocking him. Bruh, I sighed. Gabriel facepalmed. Jack got the ball, passed to Charlie, who dribbled like his controller was possessed. He crossed it to Dennis. Dennis took a touch and fired. Bam! Goal. Oh yeah, let's go! Yes, Charlie shouted, jumping up. Can I? Uh, yes, Charlie shouted, jumping up. Me, Gabriel, devastated. 2-0. It was almost halftime. I got the ball and immediately fumbled like an amateur. Dennis took off down the line, crossed it, and boom, it hit Rudiger's hand. Penalty! Yes, Charlie shouted again, jumping up. Can I take it? Um, can I take it? Dennis asked, like a little kid begging for candy. Charlie and Jack glared at him. Please? There we go. He actually said please for once. Charlie said. Then he stepped up confidently and he shot. Obviously, he scored. Hat trick, let's go. Like he danced like he was in a music video. Okay, Dennis, great goal, Jack said, pulling him down before he could climb onto the couch and declare himself the king of FIFA. It was halftime, and pizza came. 4 pizzas arrived. 3 quarters for Gabriel, 3 quarters for me, 3 quarters for Jack, 3 quarters for Dennis, 3 quarters for Charlie, and the last quarter, probably for Daniela, Gabriel's sister. We inhaled our pizza. Jack finished his already. Man, you're finished? I haven't even taken my second bite. It's too good, Charlie shrugged. Gabriel brought over another pizza. I'll cut it half for you, he said. Nah, bro, I'll take all of it. Wait, what? All of it? Dennis asked. Yeah, did I stutter? Charlie said, taking another bite. We all burst out laughing. Then Daniela showed up. Hey, big bro, give me some, she demanded. Sorry. No, you knocked before coming in? Gabriel groaned. Oh, sorry, I forgot, she said, giggling. All right, here, Gabriel said, handing her a slice. Then, oops, he dropped it. Haha, oops, he said, grinning. We all died laughing. It's not funny, Gaby! Give me yours now, Daniela shrieked. The floor is kinda clean, sis. Just eat that one, Gabriel teased. Daniela, fuming, grabbed the fallen pizza and stormed out. The second half madness. Come back for the ages. Or not. The second half started. I made some changes. No, I made no changes. Nope, not a single one. Why? Because I had an ultimate team squad. Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Mbappe, Bellingham, and Modric. These guys were crazy. Well, next we scored again to make it 3-1. Then we scored again, but then it didn't count. Then it was 4-0. Gabriel did an own goal. We froze. Then Gabriel scored. I scored. Gabriel scored again, and then I scored. Great. Gabriel and I had to close up the game because my time was obviously up. I went home and had dinner. Dinner was great. I had to inhale my dinner because it was almost nighttime. So then I went to bed. Moral of the story, Marcus is officially a food hoarder. The best heist happens when you don't get caught, unless you do. And if you're gonna decorate your room, LED lights are a must. Tomorrow, I'll become a legend. Alright, guys, so that's basically the end of Chapter 2. Chapter 3 shall be tomorrow or in 2 days. Have fun and tune out.